Hi guys, does anybody know what time it is? Is it time for STEAM class? Well, how would we know? We look at a clock. Let's take a look at some of the clocks in my house. There's a clock on the stove. The boys have a clock. There's this one on the wall, and of course, a watch. On a clock like this, the little hand tells us what hour it is, and the big hand tells us what minute it is. But clocks have only been around for a few hundred years, and people have been around for thousands and thousands of years. How did people tell time before we had clocks? Well, at first, people would just go by the sunlight. The sun rises in the morning, it gets higher and higher all day, and then it sets again in the afternoon. And that was enough back then because people just lived in the wild. They ate when they were hungry and they slept when they were tired. But as there got to be more and more people, they started to have cities and they needed to plan a little bit better. So some really smart people in ancient Egypt, where they built the pyramids, built some tall towers. And they would watch the shadow change as the sun moved across the sky. Watch what we can do. Willie and Amos and I are going to build a mini version of an Egyptian obelisk or tower, and we're going to move our little sun. It's a flashlight. We're going to move our little sun over it and see how the shadow changes. As the sun moves, the shadow moves, even though the obelisk stays in the same place. When the sun is low, the shadow's big, and when the sun is right on top, the shadow's very small. Now, something doesn't have to be as big as a tower to tell time with a shadow. There are smaller versions too. Take a look at these. Can you think of any problems with using the sunlight and shadows to tell time? Well, you couldn't tell time at night, or indoors, or if it was a cloudy day even. And if you need something as big as a tower, you can't pick it up and take it with you if you're going someplace. So people needed a better plan. And some smart people came up with the idea of a water clock. A water clock uses two containers. The top one has a tiny hole, and the water flows through to the bottom one, but very slowly. And based on the amount of water that's left the top container and gone to the bottom container, they could tell how much time had gone by. Watch as the boys and I build one. Then we'll see how it works.
Action. Straight up and down. Good.
No.
Okay, perfect. Nice.
Yeah, you can drop it in now.
Okay. Can I do it now, Daddy?
Go for it.
Oh my gosh, that's not. That's not.
Perfect. At it.
Guys, you know what this reminds me of? The Vortex video we made a few weeks ago. Right?
That's right. I'm going to pour the water in, and at the moment it hits, Willie's going to start our timer at 0. Ready? Go.
Okay, it's been going through for about 10 seconds.
So we're going to wait until it's been going for a minute, and then we're going to put a mark on our container
to show how much water comes through in 1 minute.
50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Now! 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Now!
We put a mark to show how much water made it through every minute for 10 minutes. Now we can use this as a timer to show how many minutes pass based on how much water made it into the bottom container. If it makes it to the first line, that's 1 minute. If it makes it to the second line, that's 2 minutes, and all the way up to 10. It kind of reminds me of one of these. This is an hourglass or an egg timer. It uses sand instead of water, but it does basically the same thing. Nowadays, it seems like there are clocks almost everywhere. If I look around this room, I can see the time in a few different places. On the wall, on the stove, on my computer screen, on my phone. It really makes me appreciate the technology and the smart people who came up with all these ways to help us tell time. That way we don't have to go and find our nearest tower and look at the shadow.